Welcome back, Leigh. It's good to see you.
Just staring lovingly at you to start the podcast.
I know, it's really nice. There's some lovely eye contact there, which normally makes me feel uncomfortable. When it's you, it's okay.
Welcome back to Queer Girls Watch, everybody.
To another special ep. It's really great to be back here, and we're off to the movies again, Leigh.
We are off to the movies. I think some of our diehard Wingnut West Wing lover fans are going to be slightly confused by this movie choice, but I'm hoping that it's all going to make sense and come together for you as we discuss.
We're going to convince you that the film we're talking about today is actually a very important piece
It's
of
a cinematic
movie making.
masterpiece.
It's beautiful. It's twists and turns. It's about the special relationship between the UK and America in many ways.
In many ways.
And so, yeah, we're back to the warm embrace, this time of 2003.
2003, a great year to be alive. The year I moved to America.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we're joined today by our gorgeous friend of the pod, actor, writer, director, Meg Prescott.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Our very own Fiona directed Meg in her one-woman show at the Fringe last year. Really good exposure, which you may have the chance to catch in London soon.
Maybe sometime
But
soon.
that has not been announced yet.
Soon.
But
Soon.
keep an eye.
Consider it officially teased.
And today, we're going to be talking about the Amanda Bynes classic, What a Girl Wants. Why the film is called that, I don't know.
Yeah, it's unclear.
The Christina Aguilera classic of the same name is not part of the soundtrack.
No,
and I've been singing it for 3 weeks. Thinking of this film. But yeah, it's not even in it.
no, and it's not because I think Amanda Bynes' character really does know what she wants.
Colin Firth.
Yeah,
In a paternal, fatherly way.
in a fatherly way.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a phenomenal film. Came out in 2003, and it follows Amanda Bynes playing American teen Daphne. Not enough Daphnes around the place. Not enough Daphnes.
Yeah.
Who is raised by her single mother, Libby, sexy musician, to find out on her 17th birthday that who her father really is, and then goes to England to go get him.
To go get her dad. It's very much a foreshadowing for Colin Firth's role in Mamma Mia that is yet to come.
Truly. Also, it's important. Shall I just fangirl about Colin Firth now? Shall I just get it done?
Should I just get it over? I can't really hold it in anymore.
I can't actually. So
Let it out.
we're in a post Bridget Jones world.
We are.
So-
We're in a post Pride and Prejudice world.
Yeah. So we've done Pride and Prejudice with Colin Firth. We're walking through the 90s towards the millennium, being like, I'm a serious film actor.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some great credits
Mm-hmm.
piling up. The phone call comes in. Bridget Jones, you're going to play someone called Mr. Darcy. And he's like, for sure, 100% I'm in.
It's with you. I'm there.
You. Oh, and Renee? Yeah, of course. Renee? Yeah, sure. I'll be there. Call comes in. Do you know a young comedic American actress called Amanda Bynes? Do you want to play her estranged father, who's also an aspiring politician? Yeah, absolutely. Count me in. Send over the contract. Don't care about the money.
Oh, by the way, you're going to be engaged to Caroline Bingley. You're
Yeah.
going to be reunited
He'll be
with
like, Anna,
Caroline Bingley
Anna
of the
Chancellor,
1995 BBC Pride and
haven't seen her in
Prejudice.
ages.
Looking at my notes. That's Caroline Bingley.
It would be lovely to work with her again. Then after this, he's like, Mamma Mia. Yeah, sure. A Summer in Greece? Gorgeous. Post that, he's like, they're doing a St. Trinian's remake. And you want me to fall in love with, I can't remember who the actor is, but someone in drag. And has like a full kind of love affair, I believe. And then he does the sequel to that. So what I'm saying is, Colin Firth is an incredible, incredible actor who has done many dramatic roles where I've just been like, this is stunning.
The King's Speech, please. Please.
To name but a few. And yet, he doesn't take himself too seriously. And he's like, okay, bet, I'll do that film. And
Yeah.
I will play it as seriously as if it is going to be an Oscar-winning performance. I love that from him. He's an international treasure.
Mhm.
He's a camp hero. He does physical comedy. He eats Cocoa Pops and makes it funny and also emotional in this film. I have nothing more to say other than Thank you for
the
your
highest
service.
of praise.
Thank you for your
Colin
service,
Firth.
Colin.
With that said,
I'm just going to take a small break now.
I need a breather.
Meg, what does What a Girl Wants mean to you?
Well, I have to admit, I had actually not ever seen What a Girl Wants before last night.
I'd never seen it either.
Yeah. I wanted this reaction and that's why I did not. I saved it. But yes, I had not seen this film before, which is very weird because I feel like this genre and this era was very much all me. I don't know how it slipped under the radar for me, but I did not see it. And watching it with the feminist post really good exposure eyes, my solo show that I did last night, I really was reminded of how much of a fan I was of Amanda Bynes when I was younger. Don't know if you watched the Amanda show.
Of course. Sketch comedy.
She was so good. Brilliant.
I really feel quite passionately about this, and I'm overwhelmed.
By your love for Amanda.
By my love for Amanda. I had forgotten. I adored her.
She was brilliant.
Adored her.
She was huge.
But also, I don't think people have ever given her enough credit that sketch comedy is hard.
She was the SNL. She was the Amanda show was my
it's like kids SNL.
Yeah. And I stand by the fact that I think she is a better comedic and just actor in general than a lot of grown adults.
Yes.
Today.
Fully.
She was brilliant, and I was like, she's going to be amazing. She was part of the reason why I wanted to act and do comedy because I thought she was so great. And it was so important for me to see the timeline of Amanda because our show, Really Good Exposure, is a lot about how the entertainment industry will, take young women, use them for their youth and their talent, wring them out to dry, and then don't offer them any support throughout that. Don't give them any advice. Don't check that their parents aren't selling them to the wolves. And then once they're done with them, they're like, off you go. Well, I don't know, figure it out. Oh my God, she's lost her mind. Britney shaved her head. Never saw that coming. And it's like, no, you created this. You took everything that she had and you used it for yourself. And when it was used up, you were like, oh, I don't really care. No aftercare. No aftercare, no safeguarding, no nothing. And it is such a shame. She is such a perfect example of, I ramble on a lot about sex workers' rights and people often will say about sex work, oh, it's all exploitation. And I'm like, if you care about exploitation, why are we not talking about these parents and these producers who are using these kids and destroying their mental health, destroying their lives, and then they've made their money, they don't care.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I think as I say, I adored her as a child. I think in retrospect, maybe had a little bit of a crush. But I adored her as a child. And it was actually so emotional for me watching this film for the first time as an adult. And because I, have since gone on to train as an actor and be a performer myself. And obviously as a child, I did not appreciate the technical skill of what Amanda Bynes was doing throughout this film. And I really do think if she had not been exploited in the way that she was, she could have gone on to become a performer of the likes of Alison Janney in The West Wing.
Yeah.
Like a true female powerhouse with comedy chops, technical comedy skills, but who also an audience just automatically loves and warms to.
She carries a show. She can carry a show at how old was she in the Amanda show? Like
a teenager.
15? I don't.
She's not very old in this, and this was before. I think She's the Man was a few years after this. I want to say.
Okay.
But the thing is that what I find super interesting is that the industry gobbled up anything they could that they could put her in for those years. And then what's kind of crazy is I'm like, there's no reason that she should have aged out. And we don't see the same roles being written when Amanda decided that she needed to take a break from acting. When she said that there was a few projects after What a Girl Wants that she dropped out of while they were filming.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't well enough. And I think you don't see like Amanda Seyfried being written like physical comedy roles. You don't see
That's a really good point.
like the young women of her age group who were coming up, I think, are more sexualized than Amanda was. Amanda was allowed to play funny, but they pushed that in a different way. I don't know. You can still see like every day of filming on this film was a big day of filming. Like we've got like stunts, like loads of comedy pratfalls, like big set pieces all the time. Like this isn't just like kind of high school movies. And the same with like she's
not,
a man.
I just looked up her age. She's not playing down in age. She was 17 when this film came out.
Which is crazy. Like even just the length of days that she would have been working.
Have you read Jeanette McCurdy's book, I'm Glad My Mum Died?
No, but my girlfriend has read it and has been telling me to read it.
It's very much, I believe they were roughly in the same like era, but she talks a lot about the kind of, the producer of that era in a certain network that was, you know, taking advantage of lots of these like young girls particularly. And reading that book, I was like thinking of Amanda Bynes the whole time. I you know, obviously Jeanette as well went through horrible stuff, but I was like, oh my God, if this happened to Jeanette, what on earth happened to Amanda Bynes? And like when people talk about her now, or when she was going through her like her worst point, nobody was like, hang on a minute, wait. What? Who was looking after her? Like nobody really cared because she was making a lot of people a lot of money. And it's like a very Britney Spears story. And I think
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, it really is. And I think you're right. Like before and since and after, I think we don't really see that many women who are, she was incredibly attractive, like traditionally attractive. And if you were a traditionally attractive young woman now or then, the likelihood that you'd get to do like really characterful work is so slim even now. And yeah, you're right. This girl could do it all. And the industry recognized that and they were like, yep, thank you, gobbled it all up. And then
when she was like, I need a break, they were like, well, cool, you're out then.
Yeah. So sad. She's brilliant.
And for me, I know our listeners may have been kind of confused when we pitched this film to you all, but for me, that's why it is political to watch and discuss this film, because it's actually about what happened to like a young talent who should have had a brilliant, iconic, long career in the style of like a 1950s icon.
Yep.
And had that taken away from her because there wasn't the proper protections put in place for her as a young person, as a child. Yeah. She was a child when she shot this film.
Yeah. And I think that's what's sad, is that we're never going to get to this kind of other timeline that should have existed if those protections had been in place, if that safeguarding had existed, where it would have been, you know, a sketch show produced by Amanda Bynes, or like the film written by, directed for the first time. Like that's the sort of talent that she was promising when she was doing shows like the Amanda Show. Yeah. That it was like, okay, like her name on a poster, that's all you need.
Yeah.
And that's powerful at 17.
Yeah.
To be able to like be having the same kind of stage presence and charisma and doing your own work on the level of somebody, like she should have gone on to have a career like Tina Fey, like Amy Poehler, like Mindy Kaling, all of these people. But I suppose those women were just lucky in that they came into fame and prominence at a slightly later point in their life.
Yeah.
And so they had more
life experience.
Or didn't have the misfortune of like working with these kind of men that behaved in such abhorrent ways. Like it's like, I mean, I'm just continuously sad at what happened to Amanda Bynes.
So I would just like this episode of Queer Gals Watch to just be like a little bit of a love letter to Amanda and her, how brilliant she is in this film, which stands up ultimately. Like, is it kind of a film for like little girls? Yes, but it's still
I don't think
a really entertaining watch.
I was,
as a grown woman, I had a lovely time.
Yeah, I was very pleased with, because it had all the like tick boxing of like a classic like Hallmark film, and I was like, okay, I'm just along for Amanda Bynes. But I was like, there are elements of like classism, and I was like, I didn't expect this in this film. So I was really pleased. It had elements in it that I was taken aback by.
There's like 2 or 3 points that you're like, that's not aged well. But apart from that, like it's done pretty well.
Compared to other films of that era, it does okay. There are some horrors.
So now that we've just absolutely
we've gone in heart first.
Just gone in heart first. What was the internet synopsis of this film, Fiona?
The internet synopsis was, American teen Daphne goes to England to meet her biological father. She then realizes that he's the rich Lord Henry running for political office. He welcomes her, not knowing his true bond with her.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. It's actually just a very clear synopsis. I mean, my honest take on this would probably just be chaotic American teen meets stereotypical posh Englishman.
Yes, I mean, this
Chaos
film
ensues.
was just English London propaganda. And I think the sequence when she first gets to London, I feel like that is shot for shot and musically identical to the one where in Friends, where they came to London for Ross and Emily's wedding.
It's the
same song. It's shot for shot the same. And I'm like, these poor Americans who've been watching this English propaganda their whole lives, and they get to London in the end and they're like, this is shit.
Imagine watching this film and then coming to London on a holiday from America and like walking out of Brixton Station. And being like, what's happening?
Overwhelmed.
What's happening? Or like trying to get from Victoria to Victoria Coach Station. Like with all your bags, with like your like British flags on, being like, is this what England's supposed to be like? No, it's
where are all the chimney sweeps?
Where are all the chimney sweeps? I was promised dancing chimney sweeps.
And also, where is there a house anywhere near Trafalgar Square that has like, you can just get off a red bus and be right there, and there's like 6 acres of grass around it.
You ask such a valid question, Meg, because I was like, where is this house? I was like, I wondered where they filmed it, because it feels like the interior is like shot at like Versailles or something. Like the interior of like Lord Henry's country house is legit a palace somewhere.
Well, one of my notes said that the bedroom that Amanda stays in this palace, I was like, this is the bedroom that Belle gets put in Beauty and the Beast, but pre-witch curse. Like this is exactly the same bedroom, but I don't know where the fuck they thought this was supposed to be in the centre of London. Like other than Buckingham Palace itself.
I love it. I love it so much.
I just think they knew exactly what they were doing, because I think they were thinking like, okay, little girls who are obsessed with the Amanda Show are going to want to come to the cinema to see this movie, but the mums are coming for Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy, basically.
Yeah.
And so we're going to literally cast
deliver
the
them
same Pride and Prejudice villain, Caroline Bingley, as his villainous fiance, Duckface. What another absolute powerhouse and icon.
I will say this for Anna Chancellor. Like, as an actor, she spent, I'd say, a decade playing the character, like the like villainous female character who's trying to get the love interest.
Who's trying to get either Hugh Grant or Colin Firth.
A perpetual cycle. And again, I've got a lot of respect for her being like, oh, with Colin. Oh, and they don't get together and then, fine. Love Colin. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. One of the dates works perfectly. Yeah. I really respect that from her.
I do feel that the kind of house porn of it all was kind of for the mums who were taking the 6th birthday party to see this film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The little like, I don't know if it was a C or a D storyline with the like, will they, won't they, with Amanda's biological mum and biological dad. I was like, oh, I see what they're doing here. And they give it to us.
They're like, you could be an American housewife and end up with Colin Firth.
Yeah.
And I think that's important.
Yeah. Also, just like a classic noughties, kind of chaotic, hot, single mum.
The manic pixie dream girl of it all.
The Lorelai Gilmore.
Yeah, live above a Chinese restaurant.
It was very that, wasn't it? Yeah.
Like, we're kind of like on the breadline, but in a chic way.
Yeah. We live in the center of New York as well. Like,
we're on the breadline, but we also have a gorgeous apartment.
We're getting by on like musicians' fee, like freelance musicians' income.
Something that I really loved when I watched this was her being like, oh, my mum was a musician when she met Lord Henry and didn't know he was Lord Henry, and they fell in love when we're in like flashbacks in Morocco, which we'll get to. But what I didn't realise when she said like my mum was a musician was just that her mum was like a reasonably successful wedding singer, which is like, I'd like have a lot of respect for that. It's hard graft, wedding singing, hard graft. You're doing a wonderful job.
Great Belinda Carlisle rendition.
Stunning. But also I'm like, I was like, oh, it's going to be like this rock and roll story where like the mum's going to be like, I've got to like go and like open for the Rolling Stones or something. It was like her being like, I've just booked some weddings, so got to get back to New York. Morocco. The origin story of Libby and Lord Henry.
Morocco is some of the toughest parts of this film.
Now,
does Colin look lovely in a linen shirt? Yes.
There's some headwear that most.
There's some headwear. There's also a comment in the voiceover. It was like, they came to England to get married for real. And I was like, I think marriages in other countries count.
Yeah. It's.
It hasn't aged well. At the time, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
Could have done with a redraft.
However, they needed to get Colin Firth in a linen shirt at some point, and they put him on a motorbike. So thank you for that.
And a camel.
Yeah. And unfortunately, if they'd just been like interrailing on their gap year, it would have simply been too Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
Yes. We needed this from Colin.
I would like to just raise a little point, which is, should we discuss the cultural significance of the Y2K butterfly?
Whoa, the opening credits. Whoa.
I have to make I don't know if it was the actual poster of this film, but on Netflix, when you go to What a Girl Wants, the font is Curls MT.
It is Curls MT.
I had to Google it, and I was like, this was the font I used when I was 10 in ITC. Like,
yeah. This is so the Curls font with the like butterflies. There's like some quite bad butterfly animation in the opening sequence, but just I remember as a teen, like as a young teen, being like, I think what I really need is to just start to have a collection of like small glass butterflies.
Now, it was the Groovy Chick era. Do you remember Groovy Chick?
Yeah.
I had a Groovy Chick bedspread and a Groovy Chick pencil case.
I had a Groovy Chick binder.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that was strong. Like the little clips you could get that had like the butterflies on them.
Oh, yes.
That was big for me at school disco.
Yeah. Glitter. This was this Spice? This was a bit post Spice Girls. But I mean, I don't believe they're ever going to be post.
But we're in the like absolute like wildest point, I feel, of Britney's solo career.
Yeah.
Low-rise jeans, flares.
Body glitter.
Yeah.
I will say Amanda throughout the film is sporting several gorgeous scarf belts.
Yeah, scarf belt. Yeah. Colin's wearing a scarf when he returns from his not real wedding.
Yeah.
In his convertible midlife crisis scarf.
Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful. I'm really excited for us to get into the fashion in this film because actually there's some really lovely stuff. So it's her Daphne's 17th birthday, and she's sad because she doesn't have a dad. And
did I cry watching Amanda Bynes watch the father-daughter dance at the wedding where her single mother is obviously being the wedding singer and Daphne is a waitress? Yes, I did cry because Amanda Bynes' performance moved me to tears.
Yeah. Yep. Also, all the children, all the daughters in that, I don't know if this is just what the director was going for, but they all were like looking at Amanda like, ha! Did you not? I was like, well, how many shots? This is really cruel.
Everyone's really hating on this random waitress that's just trying to do her job at this wedding. She decides, kind of at the drop of the hat, that she's going to go to England. So
my new Roman Empire is, where did the money for that plane ticket come from?
Oh yeah, and did you notice when she decides to get it, she gets her passport and she's got a big red piece of paper that says ticket on it.
Yeah, I did see
that. In case we didn't get what was happening.
Ticket. And yes, so then we head to England. We have the incredible establishing shots of London that we've touched on. The red bus journey.
A very similar sequence in a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie where they go to London. I think there must have just been like the same stock images that the Americans were using.
And just, you can't use any other song other than London Calling.
That's
the only song you can use.
what I did respect, and I think they did very well, is the accurate depiction of a hostel. So she gets off one of the many Red London buses that she gets on, and she gets off at, it's called like the Grand London Hotel, which again, accurate. Yeah. And it's just this really rundown hostel. And obviously she's like, what is this place? Which is funny.
Yeah.
And I love the explaining of like what the loo is.
Yeah. Who's Lou?
Yeah. Who's Lou?
Yeah.
Funny. She has no right to pull that joke off, and she does.
But she does.
And let's meet Ian Wallace.
I was about to be like, what is his surname? Is it Ian Bogsworth? Or it's just something like ridiculously English.
They have given him a correct English name, which is, it's not cool, it's accurate. And he is also an accurate age to perform in this role.
Was he the age?
He looks 18, doesn't he? Like he's not.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's not like a nowadays where there would be 35 playing
this man.
I mean, we watched we watched another film for this special, and I was like, the love interest is at least 35 years old.
Oh my God, he's also in Raise Your Voice with Hilary Duff, another absolute classic.
Oh, so he found his niche.
Yeah.
As 90s heartthrob.
Yeah.
This was
Ian Wallace.
Oliver James.
Yeah. Again, a very English name.
Yeah. This was the first time I believe I've watched Oliver James in a film. I haven't seen him in anything since.
Okay, I will say he was 6 years older than her.
Oh.
And she was 17.
Oh.
I feel like he probably didn't feel great about that.
Yeah.
But we don't.
That's not his fault for being cast in.
No.
Also, I would say that they have a really lovely romance that actually isn't, apart from two kisses.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not.
Yeah.
It's actually, PG. It does feel very PG. It feels very respectful.
Yeah. It's not like Armistead Stewart, who, did you ever watch The Young Ones?
No.
Oh, damn. He looked like a character called Vivian Bastard from The Young Ones.
Yeah, he does.
with the
kind of
orange
punky,
spiky hair, like punk, like with like. This is who Armistead looked like.
Armistead was a vile character who was the love interest of Amanda Bynes' stepsister-to-be, so the daughter of Anna Chancellor's character, whose name is Clarissa?
Yes,
Clarissa. And he was just a kind of posh landed gentry boy, Armistead, which is, I didn't know was a name.
Yeah.
He says some vile racist things over the course of the film, specifically about Ian Wallace's character.
He does. He said something really,
which I think we should not perpetuate or repeat. But in many ways, I felt, unfortunately, probably quite an accurate depiction of some kind of landed gentry boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what does Amanda do when he says that line?
She throws him in a river. Or is it a lake? A body of water.
It's a body of water. So
yeah.
Yeah, Armistead, crazy. I mean, I would like to say that quite often in our West Wing podcast, we've had depictions of British people. And I've been like, this seems rude.
Yeah.
But this film actually all feels quite accurate.
Yeah. Of that, like, that
class.
Type. Yes, 100%. Yeah, I felt very authentic.
And it felt like all of the actors were having quite a lot of fun portraying them as well.
Yeah.
Were all the actors actually British? Like, as in, was that their accent?
The main characters were. So, obviously, you've got Colin Firth. You've got Anna Chancellor. I can't remember her character's name. I want to say it was Vivian, but I don't think it is Vivian. It's just a name that I've pulled out of thin air. But you've got Anna Chancellor's character. Her father is being played by Jonathan Pryce, who's a very successful British actor. And again, has like been in some like huge movies. Yeah. Love that he turned up for this one and was like, let's go.
I think it's because all of these incredible actors were like, we recognize the talent in Amanda Bynes and we think she's going somewhere. And so she's doing her first movie. Yeah, I'm there. She's a great young talent.
And she stands up in every scene. And this is another reason why I love Colin Firth, is because there's quite a lot of scenes between the two of them that are either like very heartfelt, like, do you want to be my dad scenes, or they're like really broad physical comedy, like scaling walls or like jumping on the back of a motorbike, or like the crazy montage where they go shopping together on the edge of the Thames in this like weird
South Bank.
Oh my God,
Apparently there's a
was the
market
South
on
Bank
South
ever like this? Like, it's like they've put Camden Market on the South Bank and
That's
been
what's
like, this
happened.
what?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. This is what happens.
And the director was just like obsessed with handheld low angle.
Yeah, yeah.
In that, it just felt so chaotic, that scene. And I was like, I don't know if it was ever like that, and I don't know if I would want to be a part of it. If it was.
I will say, we are watching another film for these specials where the father-daughter relationship is also central, that feels extremely weird. And what I will say for Colin Firth is that it feels entirely paternal at all times.
Yeah.
Even though he's like just meeting her for the first time, at no point when they're like having a laugh together or having an emotional moment together does it get weird.
And anytime that she like walks down a staircase in a ball gown and he says, "You look beautiful," it feels like, because you're my daughter and I'm so proud of you, not because it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, but often has been a tricky line to tread in movies.
What do you do when your hot daughter comes back to you? Conundrum.
Isn't it just crazy when you want to shag your own daughter? Christ.
So props to Colin for being entirely appropriate throughout this film.
Yeah, the bar is on the floor for men.
So low.
But also actually being very funny in his own right. You know, he has a lovely little dance in some leather trousers at one point.
The leather trousers. Oh my God.
That was the moment.
So this is post montage. So he sort of has like a day out with his daughter where she's like trying to be the perfect English girl, and basically it's like, this is making me really unhappy, which I rate. And he's like, let's go and like hang out and be fun and eat Cocoa Pops. Cocoa Pops just getting huge airtime in this film.
Yeah.
And they go to the South Bank, to where Camden Market is famously. I'd kind of go shopping and then like are riding around on Ian Wallace's motorbike. And obviously Colin Firth is flashing back to being in Morocco and having a motorbike, because motorbikes are really emotional things for men. And then he comes back and there's this wild moment where he's in this palatial bedroom in this crazy house that they live in. And he's like sliding into these leather motorbike trousers and like this like loose t-shirt. And he's like gyrating. He's dancing in a way that no one has ever danced. And he's like in the mirror, like kind of giving it all that. And his fiance, Anna Chancellor, walks in and is like, politely, what the fuck are you doing?
I want my Henry back.
And I feel like if you were her and you'd walked into that room, you would have been like, I mean, I feel like there's something we need to talk about.
Something we've not adequately touched on yet is this man is running to be an MP. He has stepped down from the House of Lords to run as an MP. And he's running around London with his long-lost daughter, kind of reconnecting and rediscovering his true self
and his own youth and like his joie de vivre.
I feel like I love that anyone writing this film thought, you know what? People in Britain, especially like royal folk, like they would be like, you know what? Do I deserve to be in this position? I think I should have to prove myself. I love that anybody thought that ever that was a position anybody in that position would have taken. And the nobleness, I'm like, no, this is
Colin Firth
more
for
English
Prime Minister,
propaganda.
honestly. I will say also, there is a line at one point where they describe Amanda Bynes as being like 38th in line for the throne.
Yes.
So they're like, not only are they like old money English, they are like
literal royalty. Right?
Literal, like
landed gentry. We're there,
on some branch of the royal family.
Yes. See, I was confused the whole way through about what position and what kind. Like, are these just rich people? Are they royals? Are they politicians?
Well, obviously, famously, she falls in Prince Charles's lap at the weird fashion show.
Yes. Yes.
And I have to say,
and the Queen turns up.
Yeah. The Queen turns up.
I think it was a very good Queen and a very good Charles.
Let's discuss the royal lookalikes that were being used. So we meet Prince Charles. I think, Wills, as he's called in it. I think Wills and Harry are both there.
Yeah.
They are very poor lookalikes. Like rough. It's rough. Like the top billed ones were already booked for that day of filming. And then the Queen, I think they majority shoot her from the back, which tells you all you need to know about.
It's very wide. It's a very wide shot.
It's a wide shot. But I just really, I rate being able to laugh at like the British upper classes, but whilst also the characters themselves are like quite self-effacing. So like obviously you've got Armistead who's like, I'm perfect, and obviously responds to Amanda Bynes when she's in the blue gown is going, yummy, which I hated. But then you have the Colin Firth's mother, who is amazing. She says, so Amanda Bynes at one point goes to hug her when they've had like a bonding day shooting, hilariously. And she goes, no hugs, dear. I'm British. We only show affection to dogs and horses.
I've got this in my notes and I was like, hard agree. A woman after my own heart.
That's why we're comfortable. No matter of social class.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. But if there's a dog or any sort of animal involved, maybe less so horses. Mother's force-feeding her ancient fruitcake as we speak. Stunning. Obviously, the classic line from Clarissa, which is, holy poo on toast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was like, let her swear for the love of God.
Yeah. I feel like, was there no, I guess no, there was not swearing in this.
No, I think it was very PG.
Yeah.
What I did love was Duckface in reference to Amanda Bynes, trying to place who Amanda Bynes' mother might have been in
Colin
Firth's past. She says, that singer you met on a camel.
But again, not inaccurate of like that kind of class of people.
Yeah. Oh, another classic from Armistead, which he says to lovely Ian Wallace, which is, stay away from her, peasant. She's out of your league. Not using, you just don't get many peasants thrown around.
No.
These days, you know?
I will say though, like I used to work for a temp agency, which will not be named, where I was temping in the temp agency itself. Inception. And I was tasked with organizing the files that the temp agency held on all of the other temps, trying to like organize everybody's profiles so that they could have them close at hand. And it was temping for like EAs, receptionists, PAs. They had lots of lovely girls on their books, lots of lovely girls.
Yeah.
Because those are, traditionally very female roles. And when I was trying to organize all of these profiles, I saw that they had notes on everybody where they had WS for well-spoken. And then they had lightly accented, or they had like regional leads. And then clearly they just couldn't. I obviously looked at my own profile. And next to me, they clearly couldn't place my class. So they just put Irish.
Just question.
Irish.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Again, I believe you.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that would...
For sure.
Did not realize until I didn't live in England until I was 18. And it wasn't until I lived here that I realized how real the class thing actually is.
Yeah.
And especially because if you've lived here your whole life, you just are like, oh yeah. Like you can tell what class people want to be by how they speak, right? Yeah. But then when I I lived in LA and I was like, oh, here it's really hard to tell. Like what I liked it. I was like, actually often, and this is from when I was stripping as well, the people who come in like the most casual outfits, like don't dress up, they've often have the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the UK, like I've had American friends who've come here and been like, it's really weird. Like people like talk based on their class here, and it's like people are judged based on how they speak. And because that's just such a thing that just it's always been the case in the UK, I didn't think that was weird. But when you think about it, it is weird, and it's so classist. Like, and apparently based on the fact that the BBC, like the first radio station, was speaking like that, and they called it like received pronunciation because that's how everybody heard it on the radio. I was like, imagine if it was based in like anywhere else in the UK, we could now be thinking like, some very strong other regional accent, that is the one where you're like very high class. But it's such a weird construct that we've created around how you speak.
The country is fucked.
That being said, is what we're saying that this is actually quite a realistic depiction of class.
This is a really important movie. This is a really important movie because I feel like it's like a romantic comedy with a strong paternity storyline that's also a savage takedown of the British class system.
Yeah.
And if that's not cinema,
yeah,
I don't know what is.
I don't even know if it's like a romantic comedy because it kind of feels like Ian is kind of a B plot. It honestly is.
No, but like romantic, I think not as, because it's about showing love. It's about love. It's about love with Libby and Libby and Henry getting back together. Ian and Daphne having like a romance. It's also about like Henry being like, I've just found out I have a daughter and I love her and I'm gonna sacrifice things because I love her.
Yeah.
I.e., I'm not gonna be an MP. Wow.
And actually, for the time and even for now, quite rare to have a film where the what the girl wants is still a man, sadly, but instead of being like a romantic man, which I feel like most other films of that time, Disney, oh my God, the issue was woman doesn't have man, woman finds man, everything's fixed. But this is like, she wants to find herself through finding her father. And to give it to her mum does say, it's not about finding your dad, it's about finding yourself. And she does inadvertently find herself through her father. But I think that we barely get films nowadays which aren't about like, oh, a woman needing to have a man to fill this gigantic gap in her life. But yeah, she does in the end realize, actually, I didn't need him. It's nice to have him, but I like who I am. And I love that. I love that about this film.
Yeah, no, brilliant.
I'd like to talk just a touch more about Ian.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about the fact that Ian is the receptionist at a local hostel. I'd like to talk about the fact that Ian also works as a parking attendant for a number of events.
What temp agency is Ian with?
And then Ian is also, again, quite a well-established kind of events singer.
At all of the major debutante balls
in
of this
London.
season.
Yeah, and the fact that I think you mentioned as well, every single one of his lines seemed to be dubbed.
Yeah.
Yes. For some reason, it sounds like they've like ADR'd him, even though we're seeing his mouth move.
Imagine if we find something that he's been in since then,
and
we
it's
listen to
not
him, he's got
him.
a completely different voice, and we're like, no, they just re-voiced him.
It does seem like in most of the scenes, like it's the original audio for most of the other people, and he's been his have been redubbed through ADR.
He also has the singing voice of a 45-year-old Motown singer.
But like fair play, like fair chops to him getting up there and being like, this is my moment. This is going to springboard my music career.
Yeah.
I love that he goes from like having quite a casual, low-key sing to being like, oh, at the drop of a hat, I have a full brass band.
Yes, that is pretty wild. I also feel like the line that was kind of one of the only ones that really jarred, where I was like, okay, someone had a really good day in the writer's room when they penned this, but I don't know if this is quite in the voice of Ian, is, why are you trying so hard to fit in when you're born to stand out?
That was a trailer moment, wasn't it? Like, this is gonna go into the trailer and this is what is gonna hook the girlies, because the girlies are gonna be like, why am I trying so hard to fit in when I was born to stand out?
And that's at the culmination of their kind of romance montage, where we once again go to the South Bank for the bizarre
iMovie transition cut.
There's some draping of scarves, some outfits. There's the purchasing of the plastic bangles.
There is also a regrettable moment with a bindi, which feels
that's a moment that that's kind of some
appropriation,
deep cultural.
There's also
the
henna tattoos that they talk about, which like henna tattoos, as far as I'm aware, are like take ages to put on, and they dry, and then they're very intricate, they're beautiful. And then he comes out with a transfer tattoo. And I'm like, oh my God, these market sellers saw these two coming a mile off. Like,
that'll be £30, please. Yeah.
And also, does Amanda have a neck tattoo?
She has a neck tattoo at age 17.
Like, is that mentioned? Did I miss that? I was
No,
like, is she gang
they really-
affiliated in some way that I've
No,
missed?
it's-
Is she gang affiliated in some way that
I
I've
don't know
missed?
what it is because
Colin really takes a moment
to, like, look at it
looking at the tattoo.
when she's sleeping.
Yeah. And she covers it when she's trying to be a lady. But did I miss what the significance of that tattoo
No,
is?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I feel like that was like a ghost from a previous draft
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
then forgot to
Yeah.
take out. And I was like, also, can you get a tattoo at 17?
With
Minimum?
parental permission, yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, I
Wow.
definitely. I had
What?
boys in high school who had some ridiculous tattoos that they got at like 16 that I'm sure they regret.
Getting those lasered off now.
Yeah.
Thank God I wasn't able to get any when I
Yeah.
was that young because I would have got some terrible one. I would have had an Evanescence tattoo somewhere. It would have been horrific.
There was a boy in my year who got engaged, God love him, while we were still in high school. And
Whoa.
he got his fiance's, who was also in my year, favorite saying tattooed
Ooh.
huge across his chest.
Ooh.
And that was live, laugh, love.
No.
Yeah.
In America?
Mm.
Is it?
No.
Is it transatlantic, that phrase? I didn't know that. It's awful all
There's
around
girlies
the world.
everywhere, you know. There's Huns across the pond, you know.
Yeah. Live, laugh, love.
Across the chest
Or
at
as
age
my
16.
girlfriend would say, live, laugh, love, learn.
I think he did.
Speaking of live, laugh, loving, Leigh, do you want to chat about the quote that Amanda Bynes talks about her mum, the pedicure quote?
Oh, yes. Now, this has lived rent-free in my mind for a solid decade, if not two at this point.
yeah.
I could have quoted this back to you having not seen this film since I was like 8.
Right.
Mom always says, if you can walk on a beach and you've got a steady hand with nail polish, there's no reason to ever pay for a pedicure. I can't remember what I did yesterday, but I've remembered that quote forever, which is ironic because I can't do my own nails.
No, and
No.
there are many men on OnlyFans that would disagree with that. And they would really, really like you to go for pedicures. Like, I don't know if I agree with Amanda's mum there. I have
There's
to
money
support
to be made.
pedicures. Yeah. And what a strange manic pixie dream girl quote to have. Like, what a weird subject matter.
Just to be like, you know, my mom. She has to say
You know
about.
my crazy kooky mom who you definitely still love?
Unbelievable.
She's got gross feet.
Shall we?
Let's go to the
ladies?
quick fires.
Let's go to the fashion.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, well, we've got to mention the blue Joe Rogan beret. I don't know if it's called a beret, but do you know what I mean?
It's like a
is it
flat cap.
I think
Yes.
it's called is it a Kango hat?
Kangol.
Kangol hat.
Wait, were we wearing them in the 90s?
I think
Sorry,
we
were
were.
we wearing them?
I think we were. I believe girls were often wearing them front ways, but slightly at a
I
tilt.
see.
Do a tilt or opted just for a little baker boy.
Yeah.
It was known to happen.
Yes.
Exactly.
I would just like to contextualize the hat. Amanda is attending the Royal Dress Show.
Whatever the fuck that is.
And she is running behind schedule because she is what? A manic pixie dream girl. She's had a chaotic time getting ready. She accidentally wanders onto the runway and decides to say, you know what? I just have to style this moment out. And you know what? She does until she trips at the end of the runway and falls into Prince Charles's, our king's, your king's lap.
Don't foist him on me.
no part.
Don't foist him on me. Yes, it's amazing. And it's with I want to say it's with a low-rise pedal pusher.
A low-rise flared
No,
jean with
flared
a
jean.
sparkly trim.
The trim and there's trim around the top as well. And then the white halter.
Yes.
That's actually an amazing outfit.
Yeah.
I mean, awful, but amazing.
I think it's also really important to take a moment for Peach and Pear's fashion transformation because Daphne is nothing if not a girl's girl, and she helps those girls really blossom.
Peach and Pear do blossom in this film.
I
and
do have to say as a twin though, twin representation in media is poor. And this is one of the poorest representations.
As a
And
spokesperson for the twin community.
as a child, if I watched this, Parent Trap was my favorite because I was like, yeah, we are different. See, we could have different accents.
Yeah.
And this representation, I would have been like, peach and pear. And they speak the same and they marry, or not marry, but they're interested in those other twins. And I just...
It's done untold damage to the twin community.
Yeah.
I would also like to take a moment for Daphne's mother, Libby's choker game. She has some incredible floral chokers.
Oh.
Multiple different ones throughout the film.
Her outfit in the final, there's a final kind of ballroom scene where she arrives out of the blue from America to fall back in love with Colin Firth, and she's wearing a full remake, I believe, of like the Disney Cinderella dress.
Yeah.
She's got like the same like twirl, like twisted updo.
Yes.
She's got like this huge kind of like elaborate bejeweled choker. Where has she got that from? Also, where has she purchased this?
I think Lady Dashwood has
stepped
sourced
in.
the dress.
Yep. Also, very uncomfortable line there where Amanda knows her mum's breasts so well. And she's like, oh, and are you wearing a bra, mum? And she's like, yeah. Like, the line, I was like, what? Why did we need this line? Why would a child have made that comment to them? I just think it was the most unnecessary line. Like, she was also wearing it was strapless. So I was like, probably not wearing a bra.
No.
I was very uncomfortable with that line.
Yeah.
I think what we were trying to achieve there is like, Libby's a mom, but she's a hot mom.
Yeah.
She's so casual, you
She's
know.
a free spirit.
She's
Doesn't
a free
wear
spirit.
bras.
She doesn't wear bras. She's just about town, being a wedding singer. One of my favorite fashion moments was there was a debutante, one of the many debutante balls that happens in this film. But Anna Chancellor and the evil stepsister Clarissa have got a really awful dress for Amanda Bynes' character Daphne.
Yes.
And Daphne just like takes scissors to it. And somehow it's an incredible gown. And like
somehow it's a Vera Wang. Like, it's like...
there's like an undoing of a cape moment. Like, we're at the top of a staircase and she's at the top and like someone like takes this cape and like it falls away and it's this like truly gorgeous gown for the time.
Yeah.
That for me, I think was my fashion wow.
The scissors, I believe there is a number of like films of that era where it is like teenage girls, give them a pair of scissors.
And they're like make couture.
Yeah.
And that's not true. And
In the tradition of 16 candles, famously.
And this is why we were all cutting our own hairs and our own t-shirts and crop tops. And I blame this
because then I thought that it was all going to work out and it didn't. It didn't work out.
Are we ready to move on to the queerest moment that never intended to be queer in this film, which is, for me, Colin Firth in his linen shirts in Morocco?
Yeah, with a breeze.
With the breeze on the back of a motorbike. And like he does just have a camp quality about him, which I think is one of the reasons why I find him so attractive.
Yeah. Well, I discovered recently that I am only at ease around gay men. And so I am attracted to gay men because I'm like, oh, they're the only men that I don't feel like scared of. So I think maybe Colin Firth just seems like
he feels like a safe space.
A nice man.
Yeah.
And we're like, is it camp? And we're like, no, it's just a non-dangerous straight. There's so few of them.
What's that like?
Comfortable in his masculinity.
Exactly. Yeah. Enough to wear some wonderful outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like a man.
Yeah. So this is a little segment that we do, which is like a moment or a line from the film that you're like, masculinity. Wow. I think mine has to be stay away from her peasant. She's out of your league.
Yes. I think many lines from Armistead. I was like, oh God, this is, yes.
I might have to give it to Colin's speech where he withdraws from the political campaign. He does a really strong walk out of that speech. And I go, I'm sorry, Hugh. I'm sorry. Did we kind of steal our famous Love Actually performance?
Yes.
Did we model it on Colin in What a Girl Wants? It was very the same energy.
I had the same thought. Yeah, I think.
Which was before?
No, because when's Love Actually? Is that 2001?
Another film that I only watched the first time ever on Christmas Day last year.
Same year, guys.
I was shocked.
Oh, it's bad. Well, it's
just the worst thing I've ever seen. But I know we're talking about What a Girl Wants, but just the worst thing.
They were released in the same year. Do you think they had a chat about it? Do you think they met for a coffee and they both like did some script work together?
Oh my God, so cute. Why is that cute?
I think another vote for Man, I Feel Like a Man for me is actually from a female character. But Anna Chancellor says, once Colin Firth has worked out that Anna Chancellor's father knew that he was Daphne's dad the whole time, but hid it from him to like protect him, and sent away Daphne's mum.
Yeah.
She goes, Henry, darling, I know Daddy's been naughty, but what about me? And Colin Firth just goes, you'll survive.
There's some exes that I really should have said that too.
You'll survive.
Just, you'll survive. Any man, I feel like a man's for you, Meg.
I might be being a bit autistic about this. Are we like saying messages that are like very toxic masculinity?
Or just something that if you were a man saying it, you'd be like, oh, I'm really in my manliness right now.
I see. Well, I had a sentence that I thought was really great, and it is quite a like forthright sentence, but it did not come from a man.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It came from the mother of Colin Firth, and it was, it's not the heart, it's not the crown. I fucked it up already. It's not the crown that makes the queen. It's what's in here.
Yes. That was very earnest, wasn't
flawed.
it? Yeah.
I was flawed. I felt like that was an incredibly powerful thing, and we didn't get many matriarchs in that era of film, and she was the puppet master.
Yeah, she was.
Having said that she wasn't good at emotions, she then has a lovely scene with Hugh where she kind of pads in her nightgown to say, oh my God, you're still awake. And she talks about how many of their ancestors have kind of lost limbs in battles and said, for centuries, members of our family have been sacrificing parts of themselves for this country. You know what you're going to sacrifice, Ducky? You're going to sacrifice your heart.
Your heart. Actually, that is pretty emotional.
And finally, it's absolutely, my proudest to be an American moment is absolutely unequivocal for me in this film, which is when Duckface is kind of messing with Amanda Bynes in the kind of climactic at Amanda Bynes' debutante ball.
Yeah.
Her mother, Kelly Preston, walks up to Duckface and says, take your hand off my daughter or you won't get a scene, you'll get a Broadway musical.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I was like, I'm going to use this in life. Brilliant. Like,
also
no notes
so
from them.
American.
Just
and it's
great.
like, as she's like taken like Anna Chancellor's wrist and is like, don't you. It's giving not my daughter, you bitch.
Yeah.
In many ways.
It's giving famously Not Without My Daughter.
Yeah.
The Sally Fields classique.
Yeah.
And I think I would just like to say, in conclusion, on What a Girl Wants, we love you, Amanda.
Yeah. And I think the moment that made my proudest to be an American moment was there are a lot of this film is actually Colin Firth and Amanda Bynes, like one-on-one scenes. And how the way he looks at her isn't like, go on, you can do it. He's like, no, we're equals here on the screen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it just felt like in my mind, he knew how important this film was for her.
Yeah.
And it wasn't frivolous for him because of that.
Yeah.
Like he could have just like hammed it up and been like, oh, I'm the kind of like rich, silly, like posh man.
Yeah.
And I'll just come and do it for a few laughs.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, this is your big film. Let's go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it should.
Yeah,
well, it probably was at the time,
but
but yeah, I will never ever forgive the industry for what they did to Amanda Bynes.
Absolutely. Meg, where can our listeners find you?
Okay, I am on Instagram. I'm at Megatron. I am also, if we're still doing the artist formerly known as Twitter, I'm on there too, Meg_Prescott. Same on Threads. I'm Blue Sky, Megatron. I'm also on OnlyFans. If anyone's interested in that, there's some good stuff there. Also, Megatron. And I have a new podcast that's come out a couple of weeks ago, and we're talking about women's labour in the current state of things and how it's very undervalued. Talking to a lot of sex workers, sex work adjacent people. It's very interesting. I think that's all of my recent stuff. And also, potentially, a showing of my solo show later on in this year that can't quite be announced yet. But Keep your ears peeled.
The show, really good exposure, is incredible. Please keep an eye out for it. It's very much inspired by your own experiences being a young person in the industry, and also the experiences of also other people as well.
And people like Amanda Bynes.
Yeah.
It is a love letter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much for coming on, Meg.
Thanks for having me. This is so
fun. And we are Queer Gals Watch, wherever you get your socials, and you can email us queergalswatch@gmail.com, and we will be back next week with another movie episode.
It's gonna be a good one. Bye.
Bye.